Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Robert Turner, and this is my first video on Sorare. I haven't really done many videos in the past on anything else, but I just like to say I'm really enjoying Sorare, and I think there's still loads of ways Sorare can improve. So I just want to talk today about what Sorare can do. Well, in my opinion, where it can improve. And just let me know in the comments if you agree or if you'd like me to talk about anything else. Firstly, I'm not going to talk about the obvious stuff because we all know a new app is needed, bigger rewards, we always want bigger rewards, and the currency, that I don't really understand is sometimes a bit of a frustration because obviously withdrawing from I decided to make a small withdrawal from Sorare and just pulling it out into the wallet, into Coinbase. My little bit of money that I decided to withdraw got very little, so I was a little bit disappointed. I'd have rather just kept that little bit of money in rather than just taking it out and it being worth next to nothing at the end of it. But anyway, so things I'm gonna try and touch upon in this video is and the areas where I think Sorare can just make little tweaks which will improve Sorare. Hopefully, well, it'll improve the things that I've sort of noticed. I'm going to go through in this order. Is creating an offer to another manager. So I'm going to go ways that can improve this. Really quickly, I'm just going to touch on bidding on new players. Obviously, I quite like the way they do it anyway, but I still think there's areas where it can improve. The next thing is looking at the prices of keepers and what maybe Sorare could do to because that can be, if you put a sort of weakish team out with a weakish keeper, your keeper's usually worth more than all the outfield players, which is a bit ridiculous, especially when it brings in the least points generally. So I just wanted to look at maybe touch on the prices of keepers, and obviously maybe look at some 5-a-side teams or 7-a-side teams, or something to target new customers, because obviously they might not want to spend that five or 600 quid on a keeper when they first just join. So what sort of things Sorare could do, what sort of options. The next thing is referrals. I'd like to touch on. I mean, I've not tried to refer anyone myself, but obviously I tried to use somebody's referral when I joined and it didn't quite work, so I never got my free card. So I just want to say maybe it needs to be a little bit more simpler. And the next thing is just something that could be done really easy, is when a player is suspended, have some sort of notification somewhere when you click in the player. But anyway, let's go through them. So, creating an offer. I'm going to do a video on, sending an offer to another manager, and maybe I'll touch on the pros and cons of it when I'm doing this a bit more. But just for this, right? So, it's not as straightforward as you find a player you want and then you can just create an offer there and then. You have to copy and paste the manager's name. You have to, obviously if it is like an Asian player who you're not very much aware of, you have to remember the name of the player. Then if you're wanting to offer some of your players and a bit of money, you've got to make sure whichever players you're wanting to offer are not on the transfer market, or in any other offer to any other person. So to me, this is quite not difficult to get around your head around, but it's not straightforward easy. So So basically, you go on to, I can't remember what it is. Is it My Auctions? I can maybe quickly load Sorare up and check, but I'll do that in the background. And then in the top left hand corner, if you're on your phone or if you're using the web, it's create an offer. So when you open up the create an offer, you've got to put the manager's name in initially and select it. And obviously a lot of people have very similar names, so you know, you could definitely find the wrong manager doing that, so that's a bit annoying. Then the next thing is you're offering, as part of the offer, some currency, the Ethereum. So, you know, you could easily accidentally put a higher amount than you actually want to in here, you know, so you've got to be very careful when doing that. Then it moves on to the next page where you can select a player. Obviously you can select as many players as you want, you know, so you know, you've got to have in your head who you're sort of wanting to get rid of in this bit. And then the final bit is you've got to remember to actually search for the player you actually want, and then click on it and then submit. So there's quite a lot of parts to it, and it can easily go wrong. I accidentally put a bunch of players and actually put the wrong player's name in. Lucky enough I was able to cancel it, but it's very easily done if you're not familiar with a player's names. So someone could have had a really good offer and probably taken, you know, 300 odd pounds worth of players for like a 50-ish pound card, and you know, it would have been my fault. It would have been my fault. But the problem is it's quite easily done. I'd much rather, once you find your player, you search for him, you click it in, you see all the cards that are on the market, and when you go into that player, well, obviously when you've clicked onto that card that you want to do, there should be the create the offer button there. Underneath the make an offer is create an offer. Nice and simple. It already loads up the manager, already loads up the card, and then you can offer Ethereum and players as you see fit. So that's creating an offer. Just, you know, easy to make mistakes on it. The next thing on the creating the offer bit is obviously when you've received an offer, you know, there's no message there. There's no way of negotiating that offer, because sometimes, like, I had an offer for someone for like, which came out about €100, and I was probably willing to sell him for about 115. But you know, you've just got to straight up reject. Maybe I could have offered that 115 and made it non-negotiable. So you know, that was it was quite frustrating as well. To just have missed out on that. They've potentially missed out on that because they might have been willing to pay that. Anyway, let's go down to the next thing on the list, which is bidding on new players. I've noticed recently, obviously, because there's been a lot more people come on to Sorare. I mean, I'm relatively new myself, but a lot of times the bidding for a new player has been going higher than what they are on the transfer market, and you've probably noticed this. And you know, obviously, I've been missing out. I've hardly bought anyone with bids recently. They've all been on the transfer market because I've just found it so, like, it just gets carried away too quickly. And I think this is due mainly to like the amount they increase when they get to like 180, 190. You know, they're increasing by so much. So people can get carried away a little bit too quickly bidding on it. You know, it only takes a couple of impulsive finger bashing, and then you're sorry about the finger bashing. Shouldn't ever say that. And then all of a sudden you're paying more than what they are at transfer market to probably a better card, because it's got more levels on it for power. So you can easily get carried away and end up paying too much. And I think I'm not too sure like what they can actually do to put this, but I just think, you know, the actual the amount they force you to increase when you're doing the bids should be maybe a little bit less, because it might just stop you doing something stupid impulsively and paying that little bit too much when you could actually just go on transfer market and buy them cheaper, you know, because of them hikes each time. So I'd like something in there that maybe it just slows them bidding process down a little bit. The next thing I'd like to touch on is the prices of goalkeepers. So like, I joined 2 months ago, and you know, you could pick up keepers at a decent price, but obviously I didn't know they were going to increase this much, and obviously I didn't put loads of money in at the start because I didn't have loads of money. So that, like, the prices of keepers now, you know, even for a below par one, you know, a lot of times you're looking at 500 quid-ish, 500 quid, you know, it's just so much, especially if you're just a new starter to Sorare and, you know, you're wanting to get your first team, you know, your keeper's just, you know, if you want a decent keeper, you know, you're looking at so much money, and why would you want to put that in when you, you know. So something needs to be done. So I figured, like, there's probably a few things that Sorare can do and add. Obviously, I think an outfield five-a-side, you know, is a must. I'm not too sure what you could do. I mean, you could do it once every month or something, and you win just keepers if you get into the top 10 or 15. That could be a good way of getting people to win a keeper. Maybe changing a couple of the leagues to a 7-a-side, so you're not as reliant on the keeper, and your common card won't really affect, you know, as much, and you could get your 6 outfield players, and, you know, that could be a good way. The other one is maybe more of a one to just, like, another global, you know, league where, you know, you make a 5-a-side team. It's mainly targeting new customers, this, so I'd say, like, maybe somewhere where, you know, you have to use a common card in it. So in your 5-a-side team, you have to use one common card and the rest rare, so everyone is equal. And then everybody has to be lower than a certain level. Yeah, so let's just say level 5. The reason why I've sort of mentioned this, so it'll be more targeted for the new customers, so everybody has to be less than level 5, you know, trained up or played up, you know, in perks on it. So this means your common cards, you know, for people who have been on a long time and use their common cards, you know, won't be able to enter this league. So that's what I was thinking about there. Or you won't be able to enter the league with the players you've maybe used, you know, several times. And, you know, this is probably just a good league for, like, new starters or people recently joined, where, you know, maybe the prize pool isn't great, but it could just be a good one where, you know, yeah, you know, don't you? So if you're listening to this, you can expand on it and think it. Next thing I'd like to touch on is referrals. I've mentioned this. Yeah, so I think it was that John Nellis. I watched a video on it a couple of months ago, and I thought I'll join through your link. And I didn't really do much. I went onto the website and then I joined up, and obviously, yeah, I've bought my first 5 cards and never got a free one. Obviously very frustrating. Easily done, I think. And I'd still think now, if I was using somebody's referral code, I'd probably still get it wrong. So you know, this needs to be simplified. I'm gonna add my referral code on all my videos that I make. So I'm going to try and make a few videos on Sorare and see what happens. And then finally, my last wonderful point is suspended players notification in some form. So I mean, I know I'd like to know if someone were injured, but obviously if Sorare got it wrong and someone pulled out 100, you'd probably be pretty annoyed. But whereas people are suspended, I'm sure Sorare have the data on this, and maybe you've got your card, and then you've got your things at bottom where it tells you if they're under 23s, or you know, they've got like that little star, the blue sort of star thing if they're in a league that's ineligible. But I'd like to also for them to add a red card there and tell you the number of games they are suspended for, if they're suspended, something like that. Or if you click on the card, it tells you player suspended for next fixture or next 3 fixtures because they've got a red card. Something like that. I know it might be a little bit difficult, or it might be really simple for Sorare to do, but I don't have time. You know, I've got maybe 40 rare cards now. I don't have time to check all 40 players to make sure none of them have got 5 yellows and are going to be suspended. You know, I mean, usually, like, you know, an hour before deadline, I'm rushing to get my team sorted. You know, so, you know, I don't really plan that far ahead, and I don't give myself enough time to check who everyone's playing and everything like that. So it'd be good, because I've had a couple where I've missed it, and obviously it's cost my team score, and it's just down to I don't want to spend loads of time looking at my players and working out if they're suspended or not. Injuries, I gather it, I get that, it's something that definitely needs, you know, I don't think that's something Sorare should address. Obviously if they could, it'd be great, but I think you know, you generally know if your player's injured, don't you? You can see all the missed scores that they've got on there, and you can check how long they're going to be injured for, and then it's up to you if you want to risk them when they're just coming back from injury. But anyway, that's all I can think of that are just little improvements really that Sorare could easily add. Obviously, I've mentioned at the start, I'm not going to go on about an app, because I do think an app's very important, because I've noticed, especially like me using online browsers, I've sometimes accidentally bidded for a player twice, you know, on the new players that are coming in, you know, because it's just done that. Sometimes I have problems when I write my password in, you don't know whether it's bidded or not, it sort of like crashes between it. There's a lot of that. I remember Cristiano Ronaldo saying, "Oops, something went wrong," popping up sort of thing. I get that quite a lot, you know, so the website isn't 100%, and I think an app would really help, but for obvious reasons, and there's no point me banging on about it, but I've just banged on about it a little bit. But I'm just trying to make, you know, like, I think using a browser or using your phone browser on there, it's you know, for me at the moment has done, it's not smooth running, put it that way. So that would be massive. Anyway, I'm Rob Turner. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've actually watched it, which I'm not expecting many people to, yeah, do anything what you want. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, even write no commenting if you if you don't have anything to say on it. But anyway, hopefully I'll make some more videos and you get to see my wonderful unused ironing board in the background again. You know, who would want to miss out on that? Speak to you soon. Bye.